In this video we're going to be talking about how I scanned in my 35mm slides. I just found these when I was cleaning out a closet, and I decided I needed to just do something with them. So I bought this scanner on eBay. It's a couple years old, but I didn't want to spend big money on something because I knew I was just going to use it for a week or two and then I was going to be done with it. So basically what I do is you can only scan 4 slides at a time. So this is showing when I'm sort of rotating through. Those ones on the right have already been scanned, and I just push them aside, and I take those out and set them in the stack, the done pile. And these I push aside. I just leave them on there because I actually use them later. I'll show you. But anyway, I load in the slides that are to be scanned, and I'm looking at them to see if they need to be rotated. The software is really pretty bad. If there's black on the edges, it'll sort of rotate it back, even though you loaded it into the slide carrier vertically. So I put them all in horizontally, as it turns out, and then I mark them by pushing one of those old slides towards it, so I know which ones I need to rotate. So that to me signifies I got to rotate the third one. So I take and I put all 4 in there and close the lid, and it takes obviously a long time to do this. I have it set up near my big TV, and this is the software, ScanGear CS. It's the Canon software that came with it, and those slides are the ones that I scanned, the previous batch of slides that I scanned. The next 4 that you just saw loaded aren't in there yet. So I hit a macro key, and I'll talk about the macros later, and I type in the one that needs to be rotated. And this data is getting collected inside the macro program. And then if I was starting a new batch of slides, I would put in a path for where to save it. But in this case, I was just saving some more slides from the same concert. So it does a pre-scan, and this is the macro adjusting the orientation, and then it hits the real scan. So it just does a really quick one, real quick, just to get an idea about what's loaded, and then my macro goes ahead and orients the ones vertically that need to be oriented. Takes a long time. I cut out a lot, and it's down to a minute now. I think really the limiting factor is how often I get back to the machine, because I walk back to the machine every time I hear it make the music. We'll show that later. You can configure it to make sound. But anyway, once it's done scanning, that software closes and this ArcSoft opens. And this is horrible software. They're both horrible pieces of software, but I'm only going to use them for a couple weeks, and then I'm going to be done with them for good. So anyway, it saves it. I just save it under the default name, and I figure I'll worry about the names later. And we're back in scan, the scan software. So I thought I'd show you a few of the settings that I decided. I worked quite a bit when I first got it, just with one slide over and over and over again, to see how the quality works. And basically, I figured, I wanted the best quality that I could get. So I went with the highest it could get. And there's also a high quality setting down here, and I tested it both ways. Turns out that I can tell the difference. Not a huge difference, but it's worth doing it for me. If I'm going to go through all the trouble of scanning, I want to, might as well get the best. And so here's that setting I was talking about before. You can have a sound play when it's done. So it's in the other room, and I hear it go off, and then I get up and load some more slides, and that's quitting the scanning software. So what I need to do before when I get a new stack of slides that's a different category, I need to create a folder for it first, sort of beforehand, and then I do a copy on it, and I copy this and I put it into the macro program. So here's the macro program. In that case, I didn't have any slides to reorient, and here's me pasting in the new folder that I just created. So the name of the macro program is called AutoIT or AutoIt. I don't know how you say it, but it's free and you can download it. And I've used this before. So this macro took me maybe, I don't know, maybe 15 or 20 minutes to do the original, and then I went back and did a couple of tweaks on it. But basically, you just write down on a piece of paper what you do. You know, you hit F10 and you hit an F and a C. Basically, figure out how you would do it if you just use the keyboard is the easiest way. And so this, you know, came out to be, you know, it might be 100 lines, but it's really sort of a lot of repetitive stuff in there. So, you know, like I said, you know, maybe a half an hour invested in this macro. But it was worth it because, of course, I'm using it over and over and over again. So basically, I'm doing this over and over again, so just repeated nauseum. So I take off the last batch of slides that are already scanned and still sitting on the glass. I move the ones I just got done scanning over, and then I load my next batch of slides on there. And I usually take a duster and dust them off. Figure if you're going to go through the trouble of scanning your old slides, you might as well not have dust on them. I didn't use the dust cleaning setting on there. I figured I could. That's all After Effect, and I got to mark which ones to rotate, and then I close the lid and hit the macro key, and then basically I walk away, and I enter the slide that needs to be rotated, and then I basically walk away and walk away for like maybe 8 minutes or 6 or 8 minutes or whatever, and then I wait for the music to play. So that's it. Hope you enjoyed it.